Hello, everybody. I'm MSB, and today we are doing something a little bit different. We're doing a react episode to Death Battle's Metal Sonic vs. Cell, or Cell versus Metal Sonic, Dragon Ball versus Sonic the Hedgehog, Death Battle. Yeah, that's really it. This is gonna be a very easy video for me. Started recording a bit early, so I'll probably cut to when the episode actually begins proper.
Cell versus Metal Sonic.
Woo!
Which copycat android is truly the superior model?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
So last time I talked about Death
There's
Battle
a
in the
monster
show,
stalking
I
Ginger
think it was
Town.
that pitch
No
episode
one who's seen it
that I
has lived to
suggested.
tell the tale. All it left behind
So,
was their clothes.
This definitely feels
Some
fitting that this is
thing
the first
ate these
episode I
people's
took
insides,
for Death
leaving
Battle.
only a shadow behind.
Some kind of creature driven only by the need to feed. Earth's new apex predator, the ultimate life form.
The Namekian Piccolo went to investigate this manslayer and discovered that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims and add
Dang.
their energy to its wretched gestalt.
But the nightmare was only just beginning, because for its last trick, somehow this freak of nature knew the Kamehameha.
The mystery of this creature's origin was decades in the making. Years ago, the world was terrorized by the most advanced paramilitary
This
organization
Death
in
Battle will
history,
pry towards
the
Dragon
Red
Ball
Ribbon
the
Army.
primary canon.
Until they got
Manga
rocked by
and
this
anime.
little kung fu gremlin, Son Goku.
But Red Ribbon's dream of revenge lived on within their head scientist, Dr. Gero.
Hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory, Gero would go to work studying the Z fighters from afar, learning everything there was to know about them.
And building a series of androids that would destroy his spiky-haired nemesis once and for all.
He made a ton of them: infinite energy androids, key absorbing androids, trucker head androids, and even ginger androids.
However, none of Gero's creations were capable of matching that drive to improve that Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed.
Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Gero's death to complete. Its name was Cell.
Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the genetic information of all the greatest warriors that had
Extremely
battled
annoying
on
to draw.
Earth, and when
Like
fully evolved,
tournaments,
would
he
become
tapped Kermit the Frog.
unstoppable.
And with their
Damn
DNA,
it,
Cell
Watermus.
absorbed all their powers and techniques too.
Common among all of them is the power to manipulate ki, or the energy that exists in all living things, and weaponize it to fire energy blasts, fly at faster than light speeds, move things with telekinesis, and create force fields.
From the humans, Krillin and Tien,
Well.
Cell knows the multiform technique,
What's that?
Destructo Disc, and the Tri-Beam, his extra special favorite. Oh, weird, I'm not seeing Chaozu on this list. Sorry, bud.
Is Chaozu human?
Oh,
Okay. Cell can fire the Death Beam, as well as breathe in and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father.
and because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to his body at the cost of some keys.
Cell has survived having half his body vaporized multiple times, and cannot be destroyed unless the small cluster of cells at the core of his being is eradicated.
Should that little bugger survive, Cell will always return, even stronger than before because of the Saiyan DNA he got from Goku and Vegeta. Definitely the cream of the genetic crop.
Sure, he can perfectly replicate attacks like the Gallic Gun, Spirit Bomb, and of course Kamehameha, as well as teleport by locking onto a living being's key signature.
But the best part of being a Saiyan is how much crazy stronger they get every time they almost die.
They can even evolve to become orders of magnitude stronger in the midst of battle. Combine that with Cell's healing factor, and he's effectively the ultimate warrior.
Like a perpetual shonen motion machine.
Driven by a biological imperative, Cell wanted nothing more than to devour Gero's previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect.
Only one problem. The
Ooh,
Cell
okay.
we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not our Trunks, future Trunks. Well, not future Trunks, but another future Trunks. It's very complicated. There's like 5 timelines.
As Cell defeated and absorbed the
Wait,
androids,
what?
he evolved, not only getting stronger, but changing his personality and developing a lust for battle.
He became less creepy bug serial killer and more, well, Saiyan. After exploiting that very Saiyan arrogance and warrior's pride, Cell finally became perfect.
And easily dominated Trunks and Vegeta, the latter of whom had decades of battle experience under his belt.
Perfect Cell's power was off the charts. He could threaten the whole Earth just by powering up. With a full power Kamehameha, he was even capable of destroying our entire solar system.
While the vast majority of our solar system's mass is located in the sun, this still means that Cell's key wave would have to reach 2.8 billion miles to eradicate every planet.
But Wiz, maybe he was just exaggerating.
Not likely. Cell's claim has been backed up in multiple guidebooks and even demonstrated outright in the video games.
Cell's even stronger in the anime adaptation, considering the time Frieza blew up Namek. In the anime,
Oh, they
the
are
explosion
using
was
anime.
literally hundreds of light years wide and lit up the friggin' galaxy.
And Cell was far stronger than Frieza was at that point in time.
Hell, the Namekians could sense him all the way from a different galaxy and thought he might be a threat to the whole universe.
He's also incredibly fast, capable of blitzing even the strongest Z fighters at the time.
Briefly
Goku flew
contended
from
with the
Grand
almighty
Kai's planet to
Hercule
heaven
Satan?
all the way to
How did
hell,
he
hundreds
live?
of billions of light years in half a minute. And that was in his base form.
Yeah, that's cool, but how about the power to squeeze Mini Cell Juniors out of your butt? What? Never heard of that key technique? Call it the Kegel.
Perfect
Hell,
Cell
but-
was entirely without peer and, no longer wedded to Giro's petty grudge, decided to prove it with a tournament.
The Cell Games! And if Goku couldn't even beat him, what hope did anyone else have? Vegeta couldn't even handle a Cell Jr.
Their last hope was Goku's own son, Gohan.
After Cell arrogantly let him
The
power
one
up,
time
Gohan
I was
unleashed his
really
rage,
cool,
pushed the bug
and then
monster
did
to his
nothing for, like, the
absolute
next
limits,
12 years.
and beat him. Wow, Cell, you really are related to Vegeta, aren't you?
In truth, Cell was a victim of his own success. The same Saiyan genes that made him all-powerful also sowed the seeds of his defeat.
He got so mad he even blew himself up. Maybe he does have some Chaozu in him after all.
Even that wasn't enough to totally put him down, and he came back with the same Super Saiyan power-up that Gohan had just unlocked.
Super perfect Cell! Now with more lightning. In a battle for the ages, Cell put the entire weight of his biological programming against one lone Saiyan and went the distance.
But in the end, it still wasn't enough. No matter how brilliantly Dr. Gero copied the Z-Fighters, he still couldn't quite figure out their knack for going beyond.
What can be destroyed can always be rebuilt. All it takes to recreate the most fearsome warrior in the universe is one single cell.
Alright, now it's time for Metal Sonic.
Time and again, the world and its
Got
Kabe
it.
forest critters were threatened by the evil and oval Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
And time and again, that same world and those same critters were saved by Sonic the Hedgehog. No matter how many robotic badniks the
That battle
Good
will
Doctor
probably
threw
Sonic
in
the
his blue
Hedgehog's
spiky
primary
nemesis,
canon, the
his
video games
schemes
did
were
hide
always
the
6 spin
others.
jumps to the glowing wing spot away from getting cracked and scrambled.
But it wouldn't be over easy for Eggman. If he couldn't defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own, Metal Sonic.
Well, 0 points on creativity for that name, but goddamn, he does look metal as hell.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so Eggman built Metal with more than enough blast processing to match his prototype.
Metal can zoom around at massively hypersonic speeds, fast enough to fly to nearby planets in seconds.
He's tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes.
Metal can use all of Sonic's power-ups, and even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack.
But he's got moves of his own.
He can attack with energy blast, fire a chest laser, surround himself in an electric aura, or an impenetrable force field.
By overloading his circuitry with energy, Metal can activate V Maximum Overdrive, quadrupling his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path. at the risk of self-destructing.
You'd think all that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill, but it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap.
On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and yet he doesn't. For some reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive. Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpened his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior.
Oh, hey, the OG.
Yeah, well, when you're getting your supersized red ass handed to you by Charmy B, you know something's gone horribly wrong.
Metal's defeats
Yeah.
gave him an existential crisis. If he was created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he? Why should he exist?
Never one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal back to the drawing board and birthed him anew. You.
This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter.
Especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we mean literally copied. If Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Neo Metal Sonic is equipped with scanners
Oh.
in his optic receptors that can
Chaos Emeralds,
copy a
Master Emeralds,
person's
type stuff.
bio data, giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities.
Wouldn't he
in
also
seconds.
technically have
Like
access
the
to the
Sonic
Phantom
Boom,
Ruby?
Knuckles'
Because in
hammer
Sonic
punch,
Mania,
Tails'
he
magical
used that.
swiveling asshole, and
not
Big's
saying that
ability
here.
to suck at fishing.
Metal isn't just learning their moves,
Tails
he can
speculated in the
replicate more
IDW
esoteric
concept
powers like
Metal
silver
could have copied Blaze's
psychokinesis,
pyrokinesis
manufacture
or
Rouge's
Storm,
mechanical
Big
bat guards,
console
or
so
alter
infer
his
that Metal
very
can copy
biology to
traits at
copy
once.
Espio's chameleon invisibility. It's worth mentioning that biological data is a real scientific term and can refer to molecular structures like the genome sequence within a living organism's DNA.
Yeah, his copying is so busted, it doesn't really matter that he's a robot made of metal. If you can do it, so can he. Probably helps that he can shapeshift and regenerate his whole body from a puddle.
Likely by copying one of the mightiest beings on the planet, the god of destruction, Chaos.
Not the only chaos he's encountered.
By scanning the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, he gained his ability to manipulate some of the most powerful artifacts in the universe.
You mean
the
the
Chaos
Chaos Emeralds?
Rockabye.
Yes, the emeralds contain an infinite wellspring of mystical power and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform into Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Completely invulnerable and completely golden, Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents.
The emeralds are inconceivably powerful. They've been used to fuel
Sonic
Eggman's
Speed
Death
Simulator
Egg, which
follows
could
Sega's
obliterate
charitable
star
guidelines that
systems.
shows
On
that
their
it could
own,
achieve
they
a more
can
stable
even
support
create
with
and
the Chaos
destroy
Emeralds,
whole
because usually
universes.
using the
Other
Master
super
Emerald
characters like
that becomes-
Sonic have battled and defeated beings like the Time Eater, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 super hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse.
So Super Neo Metal Sonic should be just
Metal
as
Sonic
powerful
should
as
outlast
any
the
of
young
them,
classic
though he's
Super
got to be
Sonic, who also
quick
fought
because
Sonic
all that
and is
power
capable of
only
actually
lasts
modernizing
a
Super
short
Sonic.
time.
The road to
Shadow and
total
Silver,
domination
after
was
copying
nearly
the
at an
Super
end.
Neo Metal
After
Sonic,
manipulating
Super
Sonic and
is also
friends and
fought
copying
easily
their
from
abilities,
Speed
Metal eventually combined their biodata with the mighty
Yes.
Egg Fleet and became Metal Overlord.
Complete with missiles, giant crystal projectiles, and the strength to match 3 supersonic heroes all by himself, Overlord is all-time final boss material.
And he knew it. His ego might as well have had its own health bar. Metal's drive to surpass his rival had morphed into the delusional belief that he was the original, and Sonic the loathsome copy.
A copy that Metal had finally outclassed. All the heroes Metal had gathered had to team up to take him down.
He may have stolen their abilities, but Metal never possessed the thing that made the Sonic heroes successful: their friendship and teamwork.
Aw, how cute! Gag. Probably should have added some of those goddamn rails to the final boss fight, because it is impossible to land on those things. Ahem. After getting trashed again, Eggman reprogrammed Metal to purge any bits of rebelliousness from his code.
Metal returned to being the Eggman Army's chief enforcer, always proving invaluable as the Bad Doctor's greatest creation, now completely obedient once again.
I don't know, Wiz. Who knows what's really going on behind those glowing red eyes? Maybe Metal is more cunning than he lets on, and is only biding his time until he can take over again.
Maybe the most powerful thing that Metal copied was the ability to lie.
If I'll do it again, but
All
I'll
right,
let you
the
know.
combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Alright, go Metal, my Metal boy, go. we're already starting with this push.
Salutations, Dr. Robotnik. Your reputation precedes you. Bring me your strongest fighter or face... Then prepare to kneel before your master. Perfect.
Alright. Okay. Oh! Shit!
Tell me, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear? Not anymore.
Oh, we're doing that right now? Okay then. Wait, what the hell what the hell is that? Oh. Oh, fuck. That's an entire planet that Cell just threw on him.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form. I already possess his data. Observe. Chaos! Control. Life form data successfully copied. Scum.
Insults.
It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet! I know. Now I know everything about you, insect.
Oh no, he did that pose. The Cell Juniors. The Metal Sonics.
Don't you dare.
Ooh, the tournament.
I am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them. If you are all of them, then so am I. I'll never lose to a machine like... I'll crush you.
Oh, that.
Now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos
Oh.
Emeralds and the Z Fighters? Well, that
was
works,
awesome.
Buck. Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go, especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like Time Eater and Solaris can destroy the wider multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time Eater's destructive wave traveled at about 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Certainly impressive,
Damn.
but let's compare that to Goku's flight from heaven to hell shortly after the Cell games, which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Oh, hey, just like Time Eater. The difference, though, was that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers, Super Perfect Cell can move upwards of 100 times faster than that, and so 100 times faster than Metal Sonic. Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed. You know, the thing Metal was designed for.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could tip the scales.
They shared many of the same powers, like telekinesis, force fields, and energy projectiles. Of note though, Cell's regeneration was clearly superior, able to fully heal from a single cluster of microscopic cells.
On top of that, Cell's Saiyan genes would let him grow in power every time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the numbers advantage.
And considering Super Neo Metal had a time limit, Cell would have a big advantage in a battle of attrition.
But with Chaos Control, that became a lot tougher.
Cell and his juniors had no way to deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time, something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And with Silver Psychokinesis, or the Emerald Spatial Distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back on his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Metal may have copied Eggman's brains, but he definitely isn't as good of a fighter. The Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind, abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
And
And
that's the
frankly,
easy win
that's
for
where
Metal.
this back and forth completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, Metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb Metal.
Cell's ability to physically absorb an opponent is primarily viable against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took Metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb androids 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only called androids in the English translation.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
And using it on Cell means he wouldn't just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z Warriors too.
Remember, Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his own biology, like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits, especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place, quite literally biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's regeneration? Copied. Cell's key techniques? Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki, so there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set. And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level, just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z Fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, because Metal can do anything Cell
the
knows how to
Sonic
do.
reference.
Strange, isn't it?
Cell just doesn't have any options to retaliate that Metal wouldn't also possess, including any of his previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that overpowered.
Oh, I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
And why's that?
Cell died. Wiz, you get it? CD? Wiz, where you go? Come on back. Next time on
All
Death
right, let's see
Battle.
what's next. Explosions. Oh no. Oh no. It's not. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, it is.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Well, at least it's gonna be a bang. Well, that was Metal Sonic vs. Cell. It was really fun, honestly. Holy shit, Devil Artemis and Mora went all out for that animation. That was awesome. Well, that's gonna be it from me today. I'm MSB. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. And if you like more content like this, then I'll do it again. See you guys next time. Peace.